And now, after a long overdue hiatus, we are proud to announce that we will be switching back to the main Black Authority channel here on YouTube between now and next weekend. Keep your eyes and your ears open for that changeover. Moderators will be posting the link to the original channel here now in the chat room, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the main YouTube channel. We will be switching back over between now and next weekend. And now, The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, boy, I'm telling you, we have entered the era. We have entered the era of the government of the performing arts. That's where we are today. That's what it is today. Today, they are not attempting to actually lead anything here. They're attempting to basically juke joint their way through everything. Folks, Kamala Harris has obviously been selected to be their crash dummy. She's obviously been selected to be their human shield. She has obviously been selected for this because, man, just when you told yourself it couldn't get any worse, just when you told yourself, well, I'm sure she got the point now to stop that nonsense, just when you heard that, then you get up and you see this.
We live at the White House. We are here. Long little ride. Mama?
You brought your family?
Yep, I came with Mama.
Welcome. Come on in. Come in.
House Mama.
I know that.
I'm so sorry.
I want this to change. I want my nephew life to mean a lot to a lot of people around the world, and most definitely the culture. Especially us screaming the culture, us coming from the culture, us having a culture album, and changing the game from style to swag to jury. And now we're gonna change it from guns into laws, trying to clean it up, and I feel like I can do that. I can help that.
We got a long road. Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, I just praying to God that I be here to see some of the work that we're trying to do in process.
It takes a lot of strength to do that. Because I am sure there have been days you just didn't want to get out of bed. And to then be able to get out of bed and to do this work and the advocacy you're doing, that takes a lot of courage.
Yes, ma'am. My favorite superhero is Batman. He lost his parents growing up, so I feel like him trying to change the world and him trying to, like, you know, just, I don't know, just use some type of energy from this pain, because I never even really talked about it. I never been to a therapist or never sat down. It's just tough for like young black guys like us to even do that, to talk about it. It just always make you feel some type of way. I feel like it's just so hard for us to even just to say we hurting, or to say I won't change, or to say I am coming to the White House and trying to get a gun law act. Moving forward, I think that if I'm Quavo gonna walk through that door, I'm gonna have some young black men behind me. So
That's right. It doesn't have to be this way, right? And that's part of what we need to remind, in particular, folks who are growing up in a community where they do hear gunfire, and that is a fear. You have a right to be safe. You have a right to expect that the leaders, especially those who are in elected office, will meet that expectation. Like, my parents were active in the civil rights movement. And they marched and they shouted, and they were marching and shouting because they knew if they didn't demand it, it wouldn't happen.
You know what I'm saying? If I could be a voice to help some type of change in my region, in Atlanta, in the South, or even in the world, because our music do stretch and touch the world.
Yes, it does.
Then I'm here to do it. And I'm proud of myself for this right now, because I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know how they getting up and getting dressed and coming here. So they got to be from above right now. So we just feeling the power of the racket right
now. Okay. So this is on Vice President Kamala Harris's Twitter page here. And certainly when it comes to guns, certainly you don't want there to be a plethora of gun violence out there. Of course, you don't want there to be any kind of violence if you can avoid it. Certainly you don't want that to be the case. Although, here's my thing. My thing is, we've got a bunch of white supremacists out there doing mass shootings. We have a bunch of them out there, and you're talking to a black male and about whether or not he's been to therapy. Meanwhile, you've got white males out there literally already having incidents under the Baker Act in their various states, already being put on psychiatric holds or evaluations, and we're not doing anything about that. We've been out here talking about everything else here, and she hasn't brought anybody to the White House to discuss reparations. We haven't done that. We need to bring somebody to the White House, and we need to discuss gun violence, but we're not going to bring any of the white supremacist mass shooters or their people in communities, and we're not going to do that. We're doing this. And I am not saying that there isn't a place for it necessarily. What I am saying is, why is it we get up when these kind of things are happening, all of a sudden we're going to try to figure out how to make black folks the face of it? Gun violence prevention, all of a sudden we're going to make black folks the face of it. And of course, we're going to go get a rapper to go do that. We're going to go get a rapper to do that. And it wouldn't look so ominous if it weren't for the fact that every other week now we're turning around and here's Kamala Harris. Every other week we're coming around. She's hit both sides of it. Rappers, my parents were active in civil rights. Oh, I just wanted to remind you all. I just wanted to remind you of that. This was back on September 2nd, 20 days ago. So about 3 weeks ago, she was saying my parents were active in civil rights. A couple weeks ago, hip hop. This week, hip hop and my parents were active in civil rights. All in one video. Folks, this is why we are the Black media, because I've got to put those pieces together for you so you can see that, by the way, it looks like somebody is trying to form a message. Somebody's trying to create a narrative. And they know that there's going to be pushback on our end. They know that, but they're going forward with it anyway. They're going forward with it anyway. They understand that her image has been ripped to shreds. So they're like, okay, don't run away from it. This is what her advisors have obviously told her. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Don't run from black society. You need to lean into that. You got to lean into that. So next thing you know, she's sitting up here surrounding herself with rappers, interjecting to talk about her parents and the civil rights movement. I'm supposing that she's referring to her Indian mom or her Jamaican dad. I'm not sure which one at this point. Not sure which one. But yeah, somebody has told her she's got to prop that up. And just like Barack and Michelle Obama before her, basically said you can't talk to black folk unless you got some juke jointing going on. And I'm not down in Quavo. I'm not down in the sincerity of it. What I'm saying is we've been out here. If you wanted to discuss something with us, we've been out here for years now. Now we're coming up on an election year and you only want to talk to black folk about gun violence. Now that it's coming up on election year, you tried to ignore us for the last 3 years. Now we're coming up on election year. Your butts are in a crack. Trump is ahead of Biden in several states here. And now all of a sudden you want to talk to black folk, but you want to talk to black folk not about what we came to talk to you about. Well, why don't y'all come to the White House and we can discuss gun violence? Let's discuss that. Let's discuss that. Let's go ahead and see if we can discuss gun violence. That in an election year. In the chat room, you're correct. Why didn't they call Ice Cube to the White House? If they wanted a rapper, they could have called Cube. Even though some of this stuff's looking a little janky lately, they could have called Cube if they really wanted to do that. But this is the game they're playing. This is what I warned you about 3 years ago. I said it 3 years ago that this was going to be when folks asked me, Jason, do you think that they're going to back down? Did they learn anything from their close call with Trump? Hell no. I told you, they're not going to back down. They're going to double down. They're not going to back down from their strategy. They're going to double down because they don't believe us. They don't believe that we really will stop. They don't believe that we really will leave them hanging. They don't believe us. This is what the civil rights generation has conditioned them to think. The civil rights generation conditioned the Democrats and the political establishment to think that we don't actually need anything. That if they tell us show up, we're going to show up. And even if we're unhappy, we're going to grit our teeth and show up. And that's all it's going to be. And then all they got to do is say, if y'all don't show up for us, the Republicans are going to get you. And if we show up for you, then you're going to get us. So we're not voting for politicians anymore. We are not voting for or backing politicians anymore. We are voting for and backing an agenda, not a politician or a political party. And if you do not do our bidding, well, then good luck to you in the election. Not so much, though. Serious, but not so serious. And we can just do this all over again in 2026 and 2028. Remember, I told them that back in 2020. If you do not concede to I said that back in 2016, that if you do not concede to our demands, we are going to leave you alone. You're not going to sit up here and hold anything over our heads. We will leave you alone. Now, you have to be aware that Biden, the old white supremacist dog, and his mammy, Kamala, they've all gotten together here and whatnot, and they understand what's going on. They understand and they see what's happening when they hear us talking like this. And that's why this is jumping off, by the way, in case you all didn't realize that. Now Biden has said, okay, the niggas are hip to the game. The niggas have changed. What they are letting you know is they are conceding that we have won. That the next generation of black people coming into political maturity does not slavishly, blindly support the Democrats. Therefore, they're going to have to just import voters. They have to import supporters now. They are conceding that they cannot win the election. They are conceding that they cannot win the election anymore. They're conceding that they've lost the black vote, and not just a few of us. Folks, do you see this on your screen? 500,000 Venezuelans. Now, these are white Venezuelans. But now, why would he do this all of a sudden, and why just Venezuelans? That doesn't seem to make a lot of damn sense, does it? All of this and just Venezuelans. Just Venezuelans. Now, the article here from National Review says the Biden administration announced Wednesday that it will grant temporary legal status to nearly 500,000 illegal immigrants from Venezuela so they can pursue work, citing political instability in their home country. Excuse me. Black folk have political instability right here in the United States, and you're not doing anything about that. If you all agree with me, give me the fire emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button. It's over 2,700 people in here live right now in just the first 15 minutes. But if you agree with me that when you want to talk about political instability, we've been suffering under political instability right here in America for hundreds of years. Nothing being done about that. So if you agree with me, hit the likes button for me. This is important because they're letting you know right now that they can no longer win elections. So we will just import voters. We will just import people. We're just going to import bodies. We're not even pretending that we are that you all are still on our side. We're not even pretending it anymore. We just going to drag, push, pull anybody, anything in here that we can get. We going to drag it. We're going to open the floodgates. This is Biden doing this now. Just open the floodgates, folks. 500,000. Not a few, 500,000. So he's just saying, man, screw it all. Just dump them in here. Screw it all. The article says that the Homeland Security Department, boy, what an ironic name, by the way, the Department of Homeland Security, whose job is to endanger our security, announced the extension and redesignation of Venezuela for temporary protected status for 18 months, allowing 472,000 migrants, don't you mean illegal aliens, who had arrived in the country as of July 31st to remain legally and work. The move was green-lighted by Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Venezuelan migrants have accounted for a large portion of those who've crossed the border from Latin America in recent years. And now you're going to sit up here and give them a green light to tell them, come over here, as many of you as you can bring, which is all that's going to do. That's telling Venezuelans, yep, the door is wide open. And that's the whole point. They're going to take them and drop them off in black neighborhoods, in black areas, in black cities. That's where they're going to do. They're going to take them and drop them off in Manhattan, in Harlem. They're going to drop them off in Brooklyn, where black folk are. They're going to drop them off in Texas, in Atlanta. They're going to drop them off where black people are. That's the idea. Says temporary protected status provides individuals already present in the United States, don't you mean illegal aliens, with protection from removal when the conditions in their home country prevent their safe return. How do you know that the conditions for them are unsafe? How do you know the conditions are unsafe? The department's decision comes as the U.S. experiences a border crisis caused by the Biden administration's failed immigration enforcement that has spilled over into many states and cities. New York City has struggled to accommodate a surge of roughly 100,000 migrants since the spring of 2022, having no choice but to house them in repurposed hotels, psychiatric centers, and other shelters across the 5 boroughs and in neighboring suburbs. Mayor Eric Adams and New York Governor Kathy Hochul, often blaming the other for the sanctuary city being overwhelmed by the inflow, had been urging the federal government to grant New York City's migrants legal status so they can obtain employment and relieve some strain on the city's resources. Quote, our administration and our partners across the city have led the calls to let them work. So I want to thank President Biden for hearing our entire coalition, including our hardworking congressional delegation, and taking this important step that will bring hope to the thousands of Venezuelan migrant asylum seekers currently in our care, who will now be immediately eligible for temporary protected status, Mayor Eric Adams said on Wednesday. Meanwhile, you got homeless people in New York. Meanwhile, you have homeless people all over New York. You got black homeless people all over New York, all over LA, all over San Francisco. You got black homeless folk out there, and this is what they're doing. Remember, there is not enough money for reparations. That would bankrupt the country. That would be open-ended. That would be a waste. That would be unnecessary. Now this and the Ukraine and Afghanistan and whatever else they come, that's legit. That's all fine. That's legit. But what you talking about here? No. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do all that. This will be good. This will be good. It goes on to say here that about 242,700 Venezuelans were covered under the TPS designation before Wednesday's update, which could make another 472,000 migrants eligible. The redesignation protects the migrants from deportation and gives them employment authorization. It's unclear how the government will select which migrants will be granted. Folks, remember, you done had these illegals that killed an 11-year-old girl and then ran to my city here in Shreveport? You got these illegals coming over here wreaking havoc and mayhem. But Biden's got a security detail, and so does Eric Adams, so yeah, the rest of you got to deal with that. Now, they've got unlimited funds in New York City to take care of illegal aliens who are here to replace the now in open rebellion black population. The black population is now in open rebellion. The black population is now in open revolt. So they're bringing in a huge supply of the buffer class. They're bringing them in to bolster those numbers because black people are no longer reliable. They're no longer reliable. They're backing out. They're pulling support. So now they're like, well, screw you. We'll just import half of Venezuela to replace you. That's the idea. We'll just bring them in to replace you. Now, listen to this next part. Another existing program created by the administration allows roughly 30,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to obtain authorization to live and work in the United States for 2 years if they have a financial sponsor and clear background checks. Folks, that illegal alien in what was it, Houston, wherever he was, San Antonio, wherever he's from, killed that 11-year-old girl and then fled here to Shreveport. He has a sponsor. He went in there, raped her, killed her, butchered her, murdered her, stuffed her body in a bag under a bed, fled the city, ran here. Guess what? As I explained to you during that story, he had a sponsor. So this idea that having a sponsor means something here, I just want you to know, yeah, the ones who are over here killing folks, they got sponsors too. Yeah, so do they. They got sponsors too. It goes on to say that the parole program allows applicants to enter the U.S. via flight rather than crossing at the border. Did you get that? This will allow them to fly in instead of going through the border. That's too hard for you to do there. So here, let's just get them plane tickets and bring them in by the cargo plane load. Black folk are in open rebellion and open revolt, and they're saying, screw it. Bring in the illegals. They're going to have children quickly as they can so they can have their anchor babies. And then that's what will neutralize the black population. That's what will neutralize them. Since September began, border crossings have been increasing steadily. Two Department of Homeland Security officials told NBC News. Border Patrol apprehended over 7,500 migrants on Sunday alone. In the last day, over 10,000 migrants were encountered at the border, including 8,500 by Border Patrol and 1,600 at Customs and Border Protection ports of entry, CPB sources told Fox. Eagle Pass, Texas declared a state of emergency as a flood of illegal aliens, which Fox News correspondent Bill Milligan said were predominantly Venezuelan, poured into the city on Wednesday. A massive migrant caravan crossed the Rio Grande in the last 24 hours, with many individuals gathering under the bridge in Eagle Pass, a source with the Texas Department of Public Safety told ABC News 7. The large migrant influx into the interior indicates the Biden administration's new policies, including one that allows migrants to apply for asylum from their home countries via an app, are not deterring mass migration. In April, the Biden administration said it was preparing for the expiration of Title 42, a Trump-era COVID rule that allowed authorities to expel migrants to prevent the spread of communicable diseases by trying to, quote, expand legal pathways to admit more illegal aliens. The Biden administration may soon roll out its new ICE Secure Docket Card program, which will modernize the documentation given to illegal immigrants when they enter the country. On the sample card is a picture of the illegal immigrant, a QR code, and other identifying information, according to leaked copies obtained by Fox News. So in other words, one of these Silicon Valley programs has a contract with the federal government to make QR code ID cards, so they're going to get caked off. Everybody is making money off of this while they're telling you and me what they can't do, while they're telling you and me what they don't have money for, while they're telling you and me what they're not able to get to happen. That's what you got going on here now. All because understand what we've been doing is working. What we've been doing is working. This is not a response from security. This is a response from abject terror and fear. They are terrified of what they see forming. They are simply confirming what we've been telling you for the longest time, that their support in black society has been steadily eroding. They are letting you know in no uncertain terms they do not feel that they can count on us anymore. They are confirming they don't think they can count on us anymore. There are not enough of us who are just going for their garbage, and they're projecting down the road to future generations, and they see they're losing us. They've taken a look at future generations and they said, we're losing them. We're losing them. It ain't working. It's not working. The civil rights generation is dying out. The young people are not supporting us. They're asking questions. They're doing something that the civil rights movement, the baby boomers, did not do. They're demanding things. They're demanding things. And what they're showing is this is the Democrats. What the Democrats are showing is their dedication to not doing anything for us. That they're like, we don't give a damn if you vote for us forever. We're not gonna do anything. And now we're bringing over illegals to outnumber you to ensure that we never will. We want to make sure that we never have to do anything. Not now, not ever. We are never going to have to do anything for you. We will break the law. We will bring in illegals. We will bring them in by the boatload. We will bring them in on cruise ships. We'll bring them in by the millions because we need to neutralize that black vote that is no longer on board. They're not with us anymore. They are confirming what I've always told you all. Don't believe me. Take a look at the Biden administration. Is this the behavior of an administration that feels secure? Or is this the behavior of an administration that's saying we've lost it? We've lost. We lost. Doesn't matter what we do at this point, we've lost. There's only one action we can take. Bring in as many illegals, hopefully hostile towards the native black population, as we can. So when you see them sitting around and now they're in a situation where this next election, let me tell you, They're not going to come talk to us this next election. I'm just telling you right now. Listen to me, folks. Kamala Harris can sit up here and do her performative dance all she wants to. This square, awkward, oddball chick, they ain't coming to talk to us. She got her ass handed to her in an ice cream bucket last time. She's not coming to talk to us. They know they can't talk to us. Biden isn't coming to talk to us. He knows he can't. And he knows that he can't send Al Sharpton or anybody else to run interference for him. And what he's also conceding is that Bowling Ball Martin ain't getting the job done. He's not getting the job done for them either. So they're letting you know, hey man, we're losing it. We're losing it. So the government of the performing arts is not working. She can surround herself with the top 40 rappers all she wants to. The foul stench of desperation is just reeking off of you. They're letting you know they are just switching over now to pure desperation. They don't even know how this is going to turn out. And you all know how it goes when these white Latinos get over here. After they've been here for about 5 or 10 years, they start voting Republican. After they've been over here for about 5 or 10 years, they start voting Republican. Remember down there in Uvalde, Texas, those Latinos down there are voting like Republicans. And they voting for the Anglo guy. Majority Latino, but they're voting for the Anglo guy as their mayor. Which is what Biden and friends are perfectly okay accepting. It doesn't matter if you're the majority of the population, so long as he and his are the majority of the power, wealth, influence, and control. That's all they want. It doesn't matter if you have a majority non-white population, so long as the white folk are still running everything. Then essentially, it's a distinction without a difference. It's a distinction without a difference. So the smoke and mirrors won't work. They're trying their best. Biden knows he doesn't have any stroke in black society. He's going to sit up here and go send Kamala Harris and hope for the damn best. And that's not working out so well. This is what happens when your advisors get their information about black people from television and cell phones. You don't get it from the soil. People, you do understand that this is a result of very well-paid political strategists and advisors, right? You do understand that this is the result of very well-paid strategists and advisors telling them that this is the way you need to do this. That's the result of this. Like the Lily Adams and whatnot, they get paid a lot of money. They get paid very well. These are folks, they don't live among us because they're trying to figure out how to influence us without actually interacting with us or listening to us. I want you to check the psychology on that. They're trying to figure out how to influence us without actually coming into contact with us or anything else. They're trying to figure out how to do that. How do we influence you without actually coming around you? Without actually learning about you, and certainly without listening to you. That's out of the question. No reason whatsoever to listen to you. How do we do that? That's how we do that. So this is how you end up with individuals like this doing weird, bizarre things like this. That's how you get that. That's how you get that. I warned you years ago. I told you years ago, and you are watching it come to pass exactly as I said it would be. They are terrified. Now they're just resorting to desperation. And I'm telling you all right now, this is good. Folks, this is good. Man, you can't hide this. I told you all, look here, no. You see, you're going to have to be in their faces about it. It's going to have to be in folks' faces. It's going to have to be relentless. It's going to have to be unceasing. They understand there is no support in black society for illegal aliens. There's no support for that. We're on our agenda. And we see you're using them as a buffer class. They don't have support for that anymore. That's why Roland Martin is sitting up there boohooing and singing the damn blues. They don't have support anymore for it. Folks, understand the art of war. When someone is winning, they don't act desperate. When someone is losing, they act crazy and wild and desperate. That's what they do when they're losing. When someone is losing, they just start flinging their hands. They start throwing stuff at the wall, see if something sticks. They are just, man, look here, we're out of ideas. We're going into an election year next year, and we're shaping up to get our butts kicked in. Do something over there, damn it. Do something. And all they're doing is disarming any counter argument they could make. Folks, these people are going everywhere. Jamie Harrison and whatever, they go in places and they getting run out. They're going places, and if they dare hold a town hall, if they dare hold a meeting of any kind, they're running headlong, face first, slamming into our agenda. Folks are saying the same damn thing, that we're reminding them you got money for all these other things that have nothing to do with us. And then here you come to us and you've done nothing for us, but you're saying, come vote for us so we can do more nothing. Folks, it is solidifying, it's crystallizing. The message is out there. Folks get it. Professor Black True did a program here earlier this week talking about Biden's cratering support and how the New York Times, I think it was acknowledging that there's been a change in the way that black people respond politically to the Democrats started up. And they're saying, in truth, it didn't start this year. It started 10 years ago. What happened 10 years ago? The murder of Trayvon Martin and Barack Obama's neglect and apathy in office toward that. And that crystallized everything. The tide has begun to turn. And they are now acknowledging that's where we at today. The tide is turned. Because we're ultimately, they are specifically saying what it is they want. And we know we are not going to give it to them. Now they're asking all the right questions. They're asking the right questions now over there in black society. They're asking the right things. And we can't get around that. And we can't get around that. We cannot get around that. Now they're scared. Now they're scared. And they're there because we put them there. So all the folks who told you what wasn't going to happen and what wasn't going to be, they told you all this time that, oh, y'all, if y'all don't get out there and vote, ain't nobody worried about that. Does this look like they're not worried about it? Does this look like they're not worried about it? Does this look like that does not bother them? There are some folks who get the point on that, but there are others who don't. There are others who don't. And there are other folks out there who, believe it or not, they was trying to talk buck and talk big before. But next time, if you don't believe me that some folks are changing, some folks are getting the message that maybe we need to back off some of this stuff right here. We thought these folks weren't paying attention, but they are. Got some late breaking news I want to bring you here as well. Got some late breaking news on that. I'm going to bring that to you here following a very brief non-commercial break. Let me go ahead and announce a couple of things here. First of all, I got that issue with PayPal worked out. So the links to the PayPal are in the description of the video. So for those of you who were using PayPal, just let you know we did get that straightened out. So I want to thank everyone who's taking advantage of that here tonight. Mark B and everyone else, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that, Delcina. Also, to reiterate, we are going to be switching back to my main Black Authority YouTube channel. We're going to be switching back to that. We're going to be switching back to that. So between now and next weekend, if I don't do it tomorrow, we're going to switch over next weekend. So for those of you who have been subscribers over there, please go back and check to make sure that you are subscribed. As my mods are putting the links there and they're reminding you, make sure you are subscribed. Don't assume that because you're just subscribed over here on TBA that you're also still subscribed over there on the Black Authority. YouTube may have removed you. So make sure that you are subscribed to that because we're going to be switching back over to the main channel. You know, over 140,000 subscribers over there. This is going to be a temporary move, so we've had enough time for that. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we're going to be wrapping things up on this YouTube channel for the immediate future. I'm not canceling the channel. I'm not removing the channel. Nothing like that. But I definitely want to make sure that we have things locked and loaded back on my main YouTube channel. So be looking for me to load up over there. So PayPal is back activated. We're going to be moving back to the main YouTube channel. You all are right here. We will be back after this very brief non-commercial break. This is The Black Channel.
Hello, my name is Steve Burgess, and I'm a certified elementary school teacher and have been for 23 years. I'm the author of this book, Guidelines for the Successful Student, a closer look at parenting your school-aged child. In this book, I've explained the role of the parent and the student in addition to what accommodations, procedures, rewards and consequences and expectations that need to be in place to ensure student success from primary to high school. This book is available on Amazon.com. For more information, please visit my link tree at Easy One-on-One and to access my latest podcast, A Teaching Moment with Mr. B.
A white supremacist assassin seeks revenge. Corrupt FBI agents with evil intentions. Dangerous black collaborators dedicated to treason. Occam Jeffers must defeat them all and somehow survive. One misstep and he's a dead man. Join Occam Jeffers as he looks the devil in his blue eyes and tells him, Black first. A sequel to the underground hit War of the Heart, Spirit of 1811 Publishing presents God Love Us, on sale at Amazon. Pre-order and save today. Visit spiritOf1811publishing.com and show your love.
More Threads. A brand owned by a descendant of Black American freedmen was created to uniquely address Black American history and contributions that have been intentionally hidden and suppressed. Use their apparel and more to learn and share the Black American history of Black inventions, heroes, towns, Black business districts, and more. Sign up and support not only a Black-owned business, but a movement at www.morethread.co.
Order yours today. to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' natural body butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. And another thing that's been happening out here is this sexual deviant agenda that's been going on out here, and California has really been the epicenter of it. And for those of you who did not know, just in case you thought that California was not on its way to becoming Sodom and Gomorrah, of course, whenever they have some deviance, some nonsense, some trash that they want to promote, they always try to make a black person the face of it. So out there in California, they were pushing this bill. We're still waiting on reparations and still waiting on something sensible here, but we didn't race the bill to the governor's desk to say that judges should take into account, if in custody cases, if there's a parent who doesn't acknowledge their transgender child's gender identity. You got folks who don't even recognize the laws of the U.S. or California government flooding into the country, and you talking about genderism. So what this shows us is that we have the wackiest, craziest, most outrageously insane government in the world. Vladimir Putin seems downright rational compared to them. Well, that was up for a vote here, and I'll let you all go ahead and hear the news yourselves.
Taking a live look at the state capitol right now, where we've learned that Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed two major bills. One, driverless big rigs, and the other could impact the parents of trans children. The bill, AB 957, would have required judges to consider a parent's affirmation of their child's gender identity in custody cases when parents split up.
The author of the bill said it was meant to protect trans kids in contentious custody battles. And in explaining the veto, the governor said, quote, "I urge caution when the executive and legislative branches of state government attempt to dictate in prescriptive terms that single out one characteristic legal standards for the judicial branch to apply."
Now, another bill the governor vetoed today would have required human operators on board autonomous trucks. This is video from a rally in support of the bill just Tuesday. Teamsters, public safety officials, and lawmakers had supported the bill, saying that the technology was not safe enough. And in his explanation, the governor says that the bill would ban testing of autonomous trucks, adding that the DMV continuously monitors the testing and operations of autonomous vehicles on California roads and has the authority to suspend or revoke permits as necessary to protect the public.
So in other words, Newsom has been paid a lot of money from Google and Apple and all these folks here. Their autonomous cars, which are blocking traffic, running into poles, running over people. So don't worry about that. They done caked him off. So it's just like, yeah, autonomous vehicles, sure, no problem. Absolutely. Folks who live out there in San Francisco, there's videos all over YouTube about these cars losing their bearings. In one case, they all keep going back to this one street. They all just keep coming together at this one street. So, yeah, Governor Gavin, the deviant Newsom, is at it again there. But even he said that this was just too much even for him. Even he said that he wasn't able to get with something. Do you realize how crazy something got to be for Gavin Newsom? For Gavin Newsom to be against it? Do you understand how wild it's got to be? I mean, you have to be to the left of Caligula for Gavin Newsom. I mean, you can be the left of Caligula and Gavin Newsom is cool with you. Gavin Newsom is cool with you. But what they're also realizing is that, yeah, you can put your black flunkies out there. You can put them at the forefront if you want to. But you're not going to get the same rubber stamping that you were getting before. You're not going to get it anymore. Black folk are letting them know across the board, yeah, we're not with some of this stuff y'all are up here doing. This sexual deviant thing that you're using to attack the black family. Yeah, we're not going for that. We're not going for it. And folks are standing up and saying something. Folks, they're in trouble. They're acknowledging for you. They're in trouble. It ain't working. It's not going well. It's no longer a slam dunk like it used to be. So some of the theatrics that they used to do are not working. So now they're saying, okay, can we make it a little more moderate? Is there something we can do here that appeals to more people? And you're losing. They're letting you know, yeah, we acknowledge we're losing support. We're losing support and we don't have anything to replace it with. So with that being the case, we don't have anything that we can do. Now they're backing off of some of this stuff, but don't think that it's going to be permanent. They're going to circle back around. Do not think these individuals, these deviant degenerates are changed. They're going to circle back around. They're going to circle back around and they're going to try to sit up here and see if they can mix it up differently. They're going to see if they can mix it up differently. And see if they can get us to go along with it or enough people to be confused by it. They'll do that on purpose. See if we can get enough people confused by it. So they are expressing their performative arts out here. Not even worried about governing anymore. Let's just see if we can entertain folks and keep your eyes on that while we screw things up. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. As always, you'll wish to join us. Thank you to Keith B. and everyone else who has contributed to support tonight's program by PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much to my man Andrew L. and everyone else out there. We appreciate that. And we're doing tonight's program here basically as a touch-up and a catch-up program to remind you that they are going to crazy lengths right now, anything and everything except what we told them that we want. And now they just everywhere you go, they are acknowledging, yeah, we heard what you said. We ain't trying to do that. We heard what you said, and we're not trying to do that. We're going to see if we can find some other way around it, but we're not trying to do what you said. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone lines here. Let me get caller from area code 210. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, Jason? This is oh, I'm sorry, I got a feedback. This is Militia calling from San Antonio.
All right, Militia from San Antonio, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for the broadcast again, you know, bringing the truth, just showing the people the direction that the government is going in. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it, is that, like you said, this is what we are experiencing, is the fall of this civilization. These people seen what happened on the boat dock. They seen us come together. My mom was born in 1964, in the heart of the revolution that we had back in the 60s. We had a chance to separate and get ourselves together, and we got fooled and led astray and thinking that we can, you know, link up with the black and brown and the black and gay, and they put all the, you know, the feminism doctrine and everything into play. And now 60 years later, almost 60 years later, we have another chance to get it right. We have a chance to get it right now. We got to hold that line. That's what they are scared of. When Hoover founded the FBI, his number one fear was black unity, family. We got to hold the line. And number two is get your houses in order. Because don't think that these people don't see that we're getting it in order. My mom, she was a hardcore Democrat, then she went to the Republican Party. Now she's telling me she don't want to vote. When I first told her I'm not voting, this was about 8 years ago, she thought I was going crazy. Now she's calling me and saying, man, the hell with both parties. They're not giving us what we want. We are black people. Stop calling us people of color. Stop calling us minority. Call us black people. That's who we are. Because they'll give a program out, and it'll go to everybody except us. So we got to hold the line and get our houses in order, family, because you've seen what they did to us in the 60s, and my belief, my opinion is that it's coming back around.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, so it's a little staticky on my end, so I'm not sure if you're able to hear me clearly, but if you are, I'll just proceed with the point. There was something that you said earlier that I found to be interesting, and it regarded Quavo going to see Kamala Harris. And basically, the question being posed was, how do the politicians reach us without actually having to get in contact with us? And I think a lot of that has to do with social media. You know, if you look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they tend.
Okay, I think them people might have got Onan. See about giving us a call back, brother. Let me get call from area code 404. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Brother Jason. This is Brother Aquarius calling from Atlanta.
Hi, Brother Aquarius from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to ask you, how do we go about ousting the bootlicks, coons, and shills from our community?
Okay, first and foremost, you have to get on code as a group. You cannot be, an irrelevant minority within your group that's dismissible and irrelevant and get anything of any substance done. So first and foremost, you have to get together and get on code. That has to be something that is known and that you're together as a unit on that, no matter how small your numbers might be. So getting on code is the first step. We've done that. We started doing that. Bootlicks don't have the safe haven that they used to have anymore. The message is out. The word is out. They're on the run. They're hiding. They're getting run out of places. So it's no longer the slam dunk and as easy as it used to be for them. Not at all. Not at all. But first and foremost, you being on code is what does that. And do not be afraid to speak out. That's most important everywhere else. Silence is how they give the illusion that their side is still in the majority or that their side still controls the narrative. So those two things together, be on code and do not for a second avoid speaking out. Remember, this is a battle for hearts and minds. This is a battle for the popular consciousness. You get it, but now the job is to make sure that enough other people get it. But they won't get it if nobody's saying anything.
Thank you, Brother Jason. B1.
B1, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call. 9. Let me get caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
B Coach Chief in the place to be. I'm calling from the southeast side of Chicago.
All right, Coach Chief, what's on your mind?
Yeah, brother, I first want to say I appreciate, your knowledge and your wisdom, the way you break it down, brother. I really do. I also want to say I'm sorry I didn't catch the broadcast from the beginning, so I'm not trying to come from left field, but I'd like to bring something to your attention, if I may. Today, I passed Home Depot. There's usually like 100 Mexicans out there, right? I go every day. But today when I went there, it was like 4 Africans for every Mexican. And the Mexican and the Africans was like teaming up together in groups of 5, where the Mexicans might be like soliciting as one. And I asked them where they were from, too. They're from Nigeria, they said. But I don't know if they was lying, but it was like a good 400 Mexicans in front of Home Depot in Chicago, man. Africans in Home Depot in front of Chicago. I ain't used to seeing it. It seemed like they said, well, here, we immigrants, too. We finna come take the same advantages y'all doing. That's just all I want to say.
You're saying that you think there were
I land my plane.
You think there were hundreds in front of the store? I don't even think the store can hold.
Yeah. Trust me, I was at a reparation. I got a call. I got a email about a reparations meeting today. I shot up there, and and it's a giant Home Depot behind it. They be in front of the store, not inside it. They be all in the parking lot soliciting work. You see what I'm saying? So it was at least 150, 200 of them. It was hundreds of them. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as many.
That's not a group. That's a mob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a mob, brother. You know what I'm saying? I never seen it in my life. And so I was walking through. You know what I'm saying? And then, and matter of fact, when I was asking the Africans where they was from, because the other dude said they from Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? The Africans was talking. And then the Venezuelan dude came around and tried to cut me off. Like he thought I was asking them if they wanted to work. Like, hey, work? Like trying to cut me off. And them mods got a little body with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they was 5 to every group. The African dudes, they was at least 3 to 5 a group. The Venezuelans might walk up just 1 or 2 in a group and be like, you want to work? It's for real, man. It was a lot of crazy stuff went on there. I wish I had a way I could send you something so you could see it.
Well, I mean, definitely if you have video of it sometime, just take it and send it to me. We can see it. Like, thank you very much for giving us a call. We appreciate that. Let me get caller mirror code 585. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Black. My name is Goya Morgan, and I'm currently calling from out of Arundel, New York.
Hello, Goya. Where at New York?
Arundel.
Okay, Arundel. And what's on your mind?
Yes, I'll be quick. As you had stated that there is a large amount of illegal immigrants coming over into the United States. And not only are they coming over into the United States, these individuals are coming with trade skills such as electricians, landscapers,
carjacking,
domestic workers,
domestic violence. Go
Beg
on.
your pardon?
Yes, you said they were coming over here with skills. I was just making an addendum to the list of their skills. So you're correct. They have a lot of skills: carjacking, jugging, child molestation, kidnapping, drug dealing. So they do come over with quite a set of skills: breaking and entering.
Yes. So with that being said, do you think within the next 2 to 5 years, these individuals with these skills will put in place different businesses, service businesses, and will they be living better than the foundational Black Americans? And besides, our fight for reparations, which is at the high point, and remaining on coal, which is also at the high point, what else can we do to ensure that we stay on point and up with pace?
Well, here's the thing. If they do something like that and everything, at the end of the day, we're going to tell all of them, okay, and here's your bill. Oh, but wait a minute. I just got here. I'm illegal. Well, you're here now. Here's your bill. On account of the fact that you're here. So we're so glad that you got legalized to work because you're going to get taxed along with everybody else. Here's your bill.
Okay.
That's the way you deal with that, is that if they don't remove them, you know what, okay, well, you get over here. Yeah, go ahead and start with it if you want to. We're presenting you with your bill, too. You get billed along with everybody else.
Yes, sir. Well, what else I was thinking was that we see from the past history with the Asians, the Hispanic community, the Arabs, they're living a lot better than a lot of foundational Black Americans, and their skills had gained that. Do you think that it's important that we obtain the same type of skills and start our own service businesses?
Well, I mean, and when you're talking about the Arabs, for example, here, you're dealing with nation states that have had trillions of dollars of investment put into it. So, and with most of them being first generation. Same thing with Asians, first generation. So you're seeing the result of trillions of dollars of investment going over there. They're beneficiaries of it, and then they're just bringing it over here to get more. Far as those, quote, skill sets are concerned, I mean, most of them come here without that. When you go to Chinatown or whatnot, you don't have a bunch of doctors and lawyers there. I mean, I've been to practically every Chinatown in America. A lot of restaurants, a lot of dry cleaners, not a lot of skilled laborers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say that there are not some, but there's not a lot of skill. These are people overflowing with skilled laborers. Now, by the time you get to the second or third generation, that's when you get your doctors and lawyers and engineers kicking in. But the ones who are off the boat or off the plane, no, ma'am, there's not a bunch of skilled laborers there. These are just mom and pop things they're doing. So that if they have their ethnic enclaves, that's where they, set down their roots and things. But other than that, no. Now, what helps them is the government here. Now, that's what helps them is the one here. They get protections. There's a reason why the LAPD kicks in the doors where black folk are dealing drugs and aren't even knocking on the door where the Asians are doing it. It's not because they don't know. It's that one of you is being targeted and the other one is being allowed. So that's what you have there in that case. So these folks who have nation states that support them and they got political ties to the U.S. or there's something that the U.S. wants from them, they're being given help. They're getting given resources. So under those circumstances, yeah, they certainly could end up in that kind of situation. That's why we're just saying, you know what? We're just bypassing the garbage. We're just going straight to drop off the resources. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller America code 636. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, Jason, I'm calling from O'Fallon, Missouri. My name is John. I was asked to call in.
Okay, and what were you asked to call in for?
Because I asked all the points that you're making, I agree with you. My question was, how do we stop it? They have all the power to make the legislation, and, there's no way for us to stop them from letting these people come in. And what the last caller was saying is exactly how I see it's going to happen. If we look at Miami when the Cubans came over, the Cubans are running Miami now because they came over with skills. They were business owners. And that's the same thing with these Africans that's coming in. Sometimes I drive Uber, and I picked up a lot of Indian people that come over from Hyderabad, which is the tech capital of India. And they're coming over here getting their graduate degrees in computer science. And what they're doing is they're coming over here working for business owners so they can get paid cash because they can't make a check with those student visas. And then they're going to take that graduate degree and go work for KPMG, Deloitte, and other, the other big firms and make top dollar. We being outflanked.
Okay. What do you know about Miami? Let me find it out.
I know that a lot of the people that came over during when Castro opened the floodgates and let those people in. I know some of those people were business owners and they had skills and they own businesses down in Miami. They've gotten into government. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
So I do know that they have a little bit more leverage in that city and in Dade County than FBA people.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think that's a very interesting thing that you say. I think that's very interesting.
Yep. And
I think some of your concerns may possibly be valid. So you certainly do paint a dark picture of what's going on there, but maybe that's how bad things are. And you did make a statement there, by the way, that, hey, ever since we had the wet foot, dry foot policy, take a look at Miami. The Cubans have taken over. The Cubans run Miami. The Cubans run Miami. Well, I think you have a good point. The Cubans run Miami. Oh, wait a minute. See, folks, I don't get swayed by people's feelings. I don't get swayed by their neuroses. I don't get swayed by their anxieties. I don't do that. You're reaching the black media. I rely on hard, solid information. You see, Miami has been a place that I've been keeping track of, particularly after the pandemic happened. So I've kept a particular eye on Miami. And what do you know, folks? Now, he just told you the Cubans run Miami. Now, this is from the Miami New Times. As of 2021, meet Miami's 10 richest billionaires. A simple Google search would have turned this up for you, sir. Just a simple Google search. these Cubans, such as David Tepper. Maybe he's Cuban. All right, maybe he is. Mickey Arison. Well, maybe he is. Orlando Bravo. All right, I'll give you that one there. Sami Manayaman. He might be Cuban too. All right, we'll just throw him in. He's got dark hair. We'll just throw him in with the Cubans. Sorry here, Sammy, but yeah, dude, them's the breaks. You're going in with the Cubans. That last name, I mean, it's not quite Castro, and I get it, but we're throwing you in with the Cubans. So there you go. Tough luck. Barry Sternlicht. Okay, that sounds like a Cuban name to me, if I ever heard one. Certainly. Rakesh Gangwal. There's a Cuban name there. That's straight out of Havana. I can see his roots. Daniel Oak. O-C-H. Okay. Herbert Wertheim. He's okay. Just that he's as Cuban as Maya Lansky, I imagine. So, yeah, we got that. Fred Ersim. Okay, all right. William Berkeley. Okay. I just wanted to make a point there was all I wanted to do. I'm just trying to make a point.
I get it.
That there is a difference.
Why don't you look at the median house?
There is a difference between
household.
There's a difference between hard information and feelings and anxiety. There's a difference between those two. Yes, Miami certainly has a very large Cuban population. I mean, there's no doubt about that. However, one city does not a state or geographic place make. For example, when we're talking about races in the state of Florida, for example, yeah, you got a large white population, but nobody considers the race over until they count 5 places. Broward, Dade, Orange County, what's that, Orlando, Jacksonville, and Tallahassee. Well, those are your major cities and major counties in Florida, but those are also the major concentrations of Black people. So if we could just narrow this down, that would be different. All right. Then you say the Cubans there. I'm very glad you said that. I go there when I can. I don't go nearly as much as I used to. When the pandemic was really popping, I was down there a lot because it was the only thing that opened, and I got to learn a lot. But since then, I haven't been able to keep quite a track of it. But let me just tell you, every time you go down there, there's plenty of dark-skinned Cubans running around. Plenty of Black Cubans down there. But let's just say we don't count those. Let's just say those are all undercover Haitians. And just kick them off over there. Even with all that being the same, the bottom line is Dr. Claude Anderson has attempted to warn us now for the last 40 years that consumer power is not a power. Yeah, they got population numbers, but do those population numbers give them power, wealth, and influence? And I would concede to you there are plenty of Cubans in Miami who are prospering. No doubt about that, and no problem with that necessarily, since President Kennedy made that the policy. He thought it was going to hurt Castro, and it backfired horrendously. But be that as it may, with that being the situation, just show me where they're running things. Show me who is. I can show you Cuban politicians. I think Mayor Suarez is a brilliant guy. I think he's a great politician, brilliant guy. I think he just pretended to run for president so more people would know his name so he can run again. I think that was a bad idea, though. I think he should concentrate more on what he actually can win, which is the governorship of Florida. Now, he could win that one, but I'm assuming he's got a method to his madness, so I'll let that be. He's done great things for Miami. But he's a politician. As we found out as Black people, do Black politicians run anything? Houston, New York, New Orleans, Atlanta. White folk would tell you and me the same thing. Black folk run Atlanta. To which you and me are sitting there saying, you call this running it? You take a look at where the money, as Dr. Claude Anderson told us, Black people do not own anything of consequence in downtown Atlanta. Show me the tallest building that Black people own in downtown Atlanta. So my statement to you would be, if you say the Cubans run Miami, my response to you would be, yeah, the Cubans run Miami about as much as Black folk run Atlanta. That would be my response.
How do we stop their policy?
Number one, communicating and talking to each other. As I said to the previous caller, you can't get anything done if everybody's not on the same page or enough people are on the same page. You must start there. You have to start there. You got to get enough people on the same page, which means this is a gigantic education effort. There has been a tremendous 160-year miseducation effort. We're now undertaking an education effort. Everybody needs to know what reparations is and specifically why we need it. Everyone needs to understand what Black empowerment is and specifically why we need it. Everyone needs to understand our vocabulary, why we don't say Black and brown, minority coalition, disadvantaged communities, communities of color. You see, this is what all the civil rights generation did. They wrapped it up. That became their vocabulary. We got to unwind that so that people understand it. And we've made tremendous progress to the point that the political establishment now understands that those are dirty words. You don't hear them using people of color and disadvantaged communities as much as they used to. They understand now those are dirty words. Black people are offended when you say that. And they don't ever say this around non-Black people. So those terms are for our consumption. So even they are getting the point. Last but not least, secondly, what you do here is the terms must be absolutely inarguable. It has to be very, very clear what side we are on when we talk to people about exactly what it is we want. And we cannot mince words. That mincing words and rising tides lifts all boats and don't say anything that's too controversial, man. Damn that. You are not going to get anything done soft shoeing this. You got to go straight up the middle. Do not be offensive, but we must be straight up the middle. And we also must be articulate about it. We can't be the folks who we got an agenda can't say what it is. And then lastly, the economic foundation is great for us to have a message, but we're not going to get anything done if you're broke and not enough people have enough money to throw around or be able to put around to enact these policies at a small level. Because what you're talking about, the things that Black folk usually complain about, these other folk come over here and they just set up shop on one block, and next thing you know, you got a whole community of them there. You got a whole community of them out there. Out in Las Colinas, Texas, you know, they got a shopping center with a bunch of Indian restaurants and stores in it. So that's the power of economy at a micro level. And then it goes to a macro level. So we can't put the cart before the horse. So first and foremost, anybody and everybody, we got to get on code, which means talking to each other first, letting everybody know, hey, I'm pulling your coat. You're off code with that. You want to know what the real issue is in places like Miami and New York? Fellas chasing interracial sexual access. This fella here is so desperate to get his hands on some Cuban butt cheeks that he's not really paying attention to the extinction agenda. And that's where you and me and us and we come in as far as setting the agenda straight and saying, hey, that's not the agenda. Sexual access is not the agenda. Getting into bed with her is not the agenda. Go talk to her brothers and cousins and uncles and see how they feel about you. That's the agenda. And then you go from there. And the politicians are paying attention, because if you get everybody on code, what I said, that this is what Black empowerment is, and this is what reparations is, and this is what the agenda is, then now you can control your politics, because you don't show up for politicians who don't support your agenda, and you don't let them scare you or talk you or shame you into voting for someone who is not supporting your agenda. And as I said, you must make it clear in no uncertain terms. This is what our agenda is. We will not mince words. If you do not support our agenda, out you go. This is what the Jews do. This is what the Asians do. This is what the Arabs do. This is what the Latinos do. This is what the LGBT do. And this is what we are finally starting to do. Finally. So don't be deceived. These other folks had a decade's head start. We literally only started this within the last 10 years. We made tremendous progress, but that's how you get it done. We've already made progress. Now we need to keep our foot on the accelerator. Does that make sense?
It does. I just hope we have enough time before they outflank us with the numbers that they're bringing in, because they're not going to stop.
Okay, well, no, they're certainly not going to stop.
They're not going to stop.
They're not going to stop, but here's the other side of the equation. Neither are we. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. They're not going to stop, okay? We're not going to stop either. Caller from area code 412, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason, my name is Tracy. How are you this afternoon? This morning, tonight. I'm so sorry. I'm enjoying your broadcast tonight. I am loving it. I just want
She said, Jason, this afternoon, morning, just whenever it is. Okay, and Tracy, where are you calling from?
You are such a good orator. I love you. I really, really love you.
That's great, Tracy. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Tracy from Atlanta, what's on your mind?
Yeah, well, Jason, there's three callers before who had seen around the African stopping at Home Depot. I'm in Atlanta, and he wasn't lying on that. There is a bunch of Africans are coming down trying to get jobs, but those day workers are majority filled with Latinos. They will not hire Africans to work. I just was talking to one a couple of weeks ago. He said he was looking for work and he couldn't find it. He said they come there every day, try to find work, and he said they will get picked over. And he said that he was told that they don't know how to build. I was like, well, you're coming from he thinks to me he was from Gambia. He said, yeah, we know how to build. We built over where we're from. I said, well, he was just trying to explain his cause to me. I was like, I wish I could help you, but I can't, brother, because look, I don't really want none of y'all here. But the thing is, he was right, because they do get picked over. And all them places being built down there in Atlanta right now, you see a lot of them illegal aliens working down there with no verification check. They're coming in, doing that work. And a lot of them are done. Not only that, a lot of those builders are Republicans. And that's where a lot of people don't understand. The ones who own those big building companies, construction companies, do hire these illegal to build these apartments and these homes. A lot of them are Republican home builders.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We have to make sure
that's the dirty little secret of it. That's what I was saying before. These farmers, I say farmers, but these agriculture people down in Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Kentucky. You don't see these Mexicans out there for nothing. These are white men, Anglos. In many cases, yeah, you're right. Right-wing, conservative, whole damn not. Hell, I remember this in Louisiana back in 2005. The old racist radio host down there, Moon Griffon, and there were white men who were calling him up, talking about, yeah, we can't get no good help here. That's why we gotta get illegals there, because folks don't want to work. Folks don't want to work, and he was against that. But these of them, they're claimed to be Republicans and card carrying this, that, and the other, and they're the ones bringing them in. They're the ones bringing them in.
Yeah,
now we understand what the purpose of it is, because please understand, I was one of those teenagers out of high school. When we were in high school, there wasn't anything we wanted more than to go get a construction job. I'm talking about we were 15, 16 years old, and the fellas who had construction jobs, they all had nice Chevrolet flare side pickup trucks and things like that. Like I say, we weren't trying to get that much then. And that was all we were looking for, is to get a construction job. By the time I graduated, dude, you find out what the reality is. Yeah, you can want that, but no, that's not, you ain't gonna be able to get that. It wasn't because there weren't enough of us. Now there's the dirty little secret of it. It wasn't because there were not enough of us. That wasn't the reason. Right. No, dude, there's a specific population they want, because these other folks, at best, they're going to make some money here before they head back where they came from. At worst, they're going to make some money here before they move on to somewhere else. But your black ass is going to stay here. So you see, if we do that, and besides that fact, you're a citizen, so you can't get paid less than minimum wage, and they were paying us more than minimum wage for the ones that did get hired.
Right.
So it wasn't a matter of what we were willing to do or who was available. That was never the problem. Never has been. Isn't today. Not in California, not in Florida, not in New York. There's never been an issue getting an ample enough supply of black men, black women, black people to do any work. Never been that problem. The issue they're having is wait, hold on a second. This is going to create some affluent black middle class. We ain't really trying to do all that. Yeah, we need the work to get done, but we're not trying to change the status quo. So that's the reason for that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 708. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Sean calling from Austin, Illinois.
All right, Sean from Austin, what's on your mind?
So the government of the performing arts. So if you notice, I have an observation about the White House. When first it started off when Obama was in there, they was questioning where he was from and his birth certificate, right? That probably was the start of the migration and illegal immigrants. Then they started having rappers and stuff come through. Then Donald Trump was coming on TV, putting on the show every day, right? So they just started dumbing us down. So there's no kind of authority for the state. You know, like if you look at the White House, they got the sports people coming through and they finding crack all in the hallways and stuff like that. So it got to be a bigger picture that they trying to dumb us down. Like, we have no authority over none of us. They're not talking about our Social Security money. They're not talking about State of the Union addresses. The president don't know how to talk and he falling out on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So they just keep dumbing us down. And we're here now to where we have a migration issue, illegal aliens, and we're all at risk where they can come and kidnap us and hurt us, and then we can sue the government for putting us at risk. You know what I'm talking about? But my observation though, seriously, is they've been dumbing us down, the whole White House down, ever since Obama was in there. You know, remember back in the day you could sit in front of the TV and watch the State of the Union address? You can't do that no more. It's just a freak show. And that's my only observation today.
I'm not sure that's your only one. I'm almost certain that it isn't, but thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, I couldn't get to my pouring out a drink sound effect. I couldn't get to that one, but Sean says she's feeling good tonight. Caller from area code 713. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Curtis out of Boston.
Curtis out of Boston. What's on your mind?
Yes. First off, first time caller. Thank you, TVA, for the broadcast. I felt like I needed to call just from a few callers that you had where it seems like a pattern of those that like to express what are we going to do because everybody else is doing something and we're not doing anything. That is really a dirty explanation of that I would like to gather in terms of that Cubans are taking over Miami, which as many times as you've been to Miami and I've been to Miami a little bit few times than you, I've never seen that. Maybe in the movie Scarface, but not in person. I would just like to say for those that like to say that maybe if they are having such a affluent time doing what they are doing, they should ask them for the instructions so that they can bring it back to us if they are on code and we can do it. Not that that's going to happen, but we know what we need to do. A lot of times we know that it's the hard work that nobody likes to do. I'll land my plane there.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. All right, y'all. And that super moon done moved on over here tonight, apparently. Caller Miracle 646, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens. Can you hear me?
All right, Onan from Queens. What's on your mind?
All right, so I tried to call him before. It was a little staticky. It's still a little staticky, but I was just going to keep going. I had made the point about social media being a platform that politicians use to reach the masses, particularly black people, because they want to get a way to reach us without actually having to make contact with us. And I just wanted to get back your view on that.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a way of being able to make contact with you and influence you without having to actually listen to or respond to you. So the problem with entertainment is something that you give to somebody else, but it's not interactive. You can watch it, you can consume it, you can be influenced by it, but you can't control or change it. So when you have this gamification of politics and entertainmentization of politics, that's the whole point. It's something you get to watch, and it's meant to influence you, but for you not to be able to influence it. It's a one-way dialogue. Right. That's the whole point. It's a one-way dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that, the powers that be, if we're talking about the government, the corporations, people that have their hands on the lever, they're able to steer the conversation in a different direction. And Professor Black Truth, he brings this up all the time. It's like media is not used for entertainment so much as it's used for mind control, right? And they just use entertainment as a form of controlling the minds of the masses. But I'll just lay my plane there. So B1.
B1, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 870. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Howdy, TBA. I've been on your show before. Thanks for having me. I'm calling from Forest City, Arkansas.
Okay, what is your name?
I'm going to tell you what they're really afraid of.
What is your name, sir?
We talk about reparations and all that
Third
stuff, right?
time. Really? What is your name, sir?
James.
Hello, James. James from Fort City, Arkansas. All right, James, what is on your mind?
That's Forest, like in Forest, but with two R's.
All right.
Nathan.
All right, Forest City, Arkansas. What's on your mind?
What they're afraid of, the people that know who they are waking up. And that's what they're really afraid of. If we know who we are, we read our Bible and we look at all this stuff that's going on and all these plagues, like in the Bible, the plagues of Egypt is hitting with all these natural disasters going on. That's what the hell they're afraid of.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. All right. Caller from area code 813. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Josh from Tampa.
All right, Josh from Tampa. What's on your mind?
Right. I just wanted to address two things. First of all, the guy that said the Cubans are taking over Miami, I'm from Florida. I can't think of one skyscraper in downtown Miami that the Cubans own. First off. So they don't, when you say they don't own anything of consequence, you're correct about that. A lot of workers, not a lot of power as far as economically. But another thing too with the Venezuelans, that's not really going to work out for Joe Biden because Venezuelans down here, they lean Republican to the point where if they come here, they're going to be told, for one, that the Democrats are socialists, and two, that the Republicans are more in line with their culture. So I know his play that he's trying to make, but I think that's going to backfire on him pretty bad.
Yeah,
especially
I
places
mean,
like Florida,
certainly
Texas.
that's why, the Kennedy was a Democrat, but take a look who the Cubans vote for. Take a look who the Cubans, what political party the Cubans are aligned with. Irony of ironies. Kennedy was the one who let them come over here. Yeah, and as soon as they got here, I mean, like, for example, in the UFC, that the fighter Jorge Masvidal, he's Cuban. And I mean, he's real vocal about, the problem with supporting socialism and communism and things like that, specifically because of Castro. Same thing in Venezuela. You find that there. You see a lot of that happening in some of those other places, Argentina and stuff. So you're absolutely correct about that. Once they get here, yeah, generation one that doesn't do anything but work, well, they might tell Joe Biden, thanks a whole lot for letting me in. But by generation 2 or 3, if it gets that far along, yeah, they're going to be staunch Republicans for the most part. Not that they're going to be the strongest, staunchest ones, by the way. Because here's the thing that nobody wants to accept here. The ones who come across the border, sneak across the border, stow away into the country, man, there ain't no unity and camaraderie going on there. They're looking out for number one. They didn't get up and flee because they're looking out for their neighbors. They got up and fled because they're like, man, look, nigga, every man for himself down here. That's what it is. And as soon as they get here, they're like, okay, I'm glad I'm good. Now close the door behind me. Now close that door.
Right.
They have no problem doing that. Okay. None whatsoever. None. So you're absolutely right. They're bringing folks over here and it goes sideways. And that's exactly what you end up getting stuck with. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller area code 914. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. G-Style Media calling from New York.
All right, G-Style, what's on your mind?
Basically, it's so obvious what they're trying to do, these Democrats. They're basically trying to bury us under these migrants. You know what I'm saying? I drive taxi in New York City, and I have a client that I drop off, and she works in a hotel. It's a high-end hotel. What she told me is unbelievable. They're giving these migrants, they're giving them money every month. They're giving them food stamps every month. And they're incentivizing them to save their money to buy apartments and vehicles. And when they find jobs, they don't even have to pay rent where they're at. They're giving them this stuff in order for them to save up and get up on their feet as soon as they get here. Now, you got Black Americans and even just Americans in general everywhere, all over the streets in New York, sleeping in the train, sleeping on the floor, sleeping in the streets. And we can't get none of that help. People are going to the shelters getting turned away. I'm seeing this stuff for myself. And it's like these guys illegally jump over the border and they're getting the red fucking carpet rolled out for them. So it's like it's obvious that they're trying to undermine us and they're trying to bury us under this migrant flow. It's so obvious. And when she told me that, my mind was blown. I'm like, are you kidding me? She's telling me they're up there with trucks, SUVs, 4x4s, all types of shit. They're just balling, scooters, everything. Meanwhile, we going into the DSS places and we can't even get into a shelter. And I'll land my plane there, but this shit is unbelievable.
They are not the undesirables. We are. This is what a race war looks like. They're bringing these folks over here. It's like, no, they're not the undesirables. You are. When you see something like this happen where they're getting support, nobody had to pass any legislation. There's no battle over whether or not they should get any funding. There's no funding fight. There's no appropriations bill. No, nothing. It's just, don't worry. Oh, the money is turned on. You and me show up. Oh, we ain't got it in the budget. We all out of cash and everything. Well, go get ours where you found the money to pay for this garbage. Let's send them back. Send them back where they came from, and all the money you found, that miracle you found of money for them. Yeah, you just gonna transfer that over here. But the real thing is they want to see how many folks are gonna sit there and tolerate that. But My whole thing about it is it's good that they're being so blatant. They were doing good when they were doing this undercover, and nobody could really see it.
Right.
And nobody was paying attention.
Right.
You were
'Cause now
doing real
everybody's
good
seeing
there.
What's going on?
Dude, $300 million, you can't hide that. You can't hide that. You pulled $300 million out your damn ear, you can't hide that. Henceforth and forevermore, you will never be able to make another excuse about funding ever again. After you did
That's
this,
right.
you'll never be able to say those words ever again. Never. Now
And
that you told
Biden's trying to
you
get
can just
another- trying
arbitrarily
to get
expand the
another what?
pot for like that overnight. No, dude, from this day forward, no excuses.
Right. And Biden's trying to get more billions to send to Ukraine right now as we speak. It's like, come on, what the hell are you guys doing?
Well, he's going a little bit
but
easy.
Jason,
He's going a
great
little bit
show. I'll
easier
land my
now.
plane
He's
there.
doing 350 million, so he's cutting back. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, he doesn't want to do billions this time. He wants to do a few $100 million. So you can see he's easing back from it. Caller Miracle 763. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's John from Minneapolis.
John from Minneapolis. What's on your mind?
I want to say three things, Mr. Black. When it comes to this Latinos, I'm an immigrant myself. When it comes to these Latinos, I really get very pissed off, angry, because what happened to our brother here, Philando Castillo, when Officer Yanez gunned him down. And I remember that to this day. So it burns me to hell. The other thing I want to say is, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Trump was in, I was really 50-50 if I wanted to vote for him. But I'm now leaning more into voting for him, because at least when Trump was in office, he never swung the door open for these alien Latinos to come out here. You know, he never did that. When he was in Iowa, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he said he's gonna invoke the Alien Enemies Act. So I looked that up. For anybody listening, it's 50 U.S. Code 21, and this is what it says: whenever there is a declared war between the United States and any foreign nation or government, or any invasion or predatory incursion is perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the United States by any foreign nation or government, and the President makes public proclamation of the event, all natives, citizens, or subjects of the hostile nation or government being of the age of 14 years and upward, who shall be within the United States and not actually naturalized, shall be liable to be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as alien enemies. And I land my plane.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, big brother Jason.
Okay. Caller from area code 202. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
That is Yusuf calling from D.C., man.
Yusuf from D.C. What's on your mind?
I had a question. And you said what?
What's on your mind?
Yeah, I was calling because what is the situation in the connection between China and Venezuela and these immigrants coming here? Is there any type of connection? Because China is circling their wagons around South America.
Well, yeah, with BRICS and whatnot, but
particularly-
that's for BRICS. I mean, they certainly want to get their hands on the resources. They certainly want to be able to set up a global economic bloc to counter the United States. So certainly, I mean, there's something going on there in that regard. As far as, all these folks coming up here, China doesn't have anything to do with that, because when you make ties to a nation, it doesn't help that nation when it has its people going off. And remember, manpower is money. People are money. So when your human capital and your human resources are fleeing your country and taking that resource somewhere else, you're basically just creating the babies and then sending your workforce off to somebody else's nation. We call that a brain drain when you're dealing with skilled workers. But even this situation right here, even unskilled laborers or manual laborers, you take a look in the Middle East, the Arabs don't do the construction over there. Most of that is done by illegals and migrants and whatnot, building the Burj Khalifa and so on. That's who does the actual grunt work and the construction and the dyeing, by the way. And that FIFA arena that they built, it was the illegals and the migrants who did the working and the building and the dyeing. Outrageous numbers. If you all want to see something heinous, you go look into the building of that FIFA arena that they did over there, I think in the United Arab Emirates or whatever. And that was heinous to do that. So when you're dealing with nation states, it's not a powerful nation that has a bunch of people leaving. It's a powerful nation that has a stable population that it can rely on. Not a population that's prone to get up and run. How can you maintain an economy when 25% of your citizens, are looking for the first thing floating to get out?
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was concerned about that with the political situation with China being a rising power and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm in D.C. and we normally had El Salvadorians come here. I'm used to El Salvadorians and Guatemalans and stuff like that. But here lately, I'm seeing Venezuelans, and they all on the buses and walking around in D.C. as well. And now many of them are walking around with newborn babies now. I'm seeing a lot of them with newborn babies. But I'll land my plane on that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. This is part of that failed ideology that you're going to do. You tried it in Cuba, it failed. Now you're trying it in Venezuela, it failed. That if we just dangle this carrot for them and everything, they're going to be friendly towards America and they can sit up here and have the babies and we get the benefits of it. But that's not really the way that works out. At least not for those of us down here at the bottom. Now, for the oligarchs at the top who don't give a damn how it's done, they want to keep profits high and costs low. They literally don't care if they destroy everything. Call America 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, big brother Jason. This is brother Elijah calling out of Brooklyn, New York.
All right, brother Elijah, why are you always calling me from the back of a subway car?
I'm sorry, I'm driving right now, big brother. Please forgive me.
Well, nigga, why you always calling me from the George Washington Bridge?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know, brother.
The Uber people. You can only call me while you're doing your Ubering. Is that it?
No, big brother, not at all, big brother. I apologize about that. I'll be very quick, and I'm gonna land my plane. I got a question. If my memory serves me correct, big brother, years ago, Venezuela was like a no-fly zone. And then you couldn't go there, and they wasn't accepting nobody. Why is it all of a sudden now, why are they going to become the new buffer class? That's my question.
Political instability in Venezuela. That's one of the methods that the United States uses, that if you wish to destabilize foreign governments, here's the way it works. In the Middle East, what you have are a bunch of individuals who were expatriates from the Middle East, and the idea was that you bring them to America, you educate them, you westernize them, and then you send them back. So that's how you end up, with the Shah of Iran and Hamid Karzai, and I can go down the list. So that's the real idea, is if you can get enough of them in proximity and westernize them, and then eventually these people go back, only they go back with westernized ideas, and thus they get to destabilize these countries from the inside. Now, that's the thinking behind it. We all know the United States is absolutely hostile towards Venezuela. Hugo Chavez, you know your history. So, yeah, we know that that's their attitude about it, and things haven't gotten better recently. So, by the United States being a stopgap position, that's one of the things they've been using to say, okay, this will influence more of them to go along with the program. That's the idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, big brother. Because I was just confused because Hugo Chavez said, real talk. He's the only one that Hispanic that I know that acknowledges African roots, and that's why the United States hated the brother. And then now they wanted to destabilize him, and now they're going to be the new buffer class over us and destroy our community.
Well, just
So,
understand they're hand-picking
crazy.
the ones they want. They're not bringing them over here by accident. They're hand-picking. If there's anybody with a pro-black sentiment, his ass ain't getting in. So don't worry about that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, our brother Elijah, he's out there Ubering late in the evenings, and he make time to call me. It's like, hey, can y'all hurry up and get out? I got to call Brother Jason. Okay. Well, folks, like I say, they are trying to keep you confused. They are trying to keep you not watching. They are trying to keep you thinking, oh, don't worry. If we can be entertaining, that's all you need. No, the agenda hasn't changed. The format hasn't changed. None of that has changed. Just a brief reminder here. Between now and next weekend, we are going to be making changes between now and next weekend. So between now and next weekend, we are going to be switching back to the main Black Authority channel here on YouTube. So be watchful of that. My mods have posted the links in the chat room. Be aware that that's what's going to be coming here next. I want all of you, all of you, to join me over there as we crank back up the big channel again and get it sparking. You're all invited to join me. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD and streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo, Keith B, and everybody else. Thank you very much for your support here as well. Mr. 220 with the world's meanest looking emoji for his profile avatar. The meanest looking one. Cult-like personality, everybody else. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Just a brief reminder, the main channel doesn't have monetization turned on. That's never been something that I really have to fight over. They disabled monetization on that channel years ago, so that's not really something I worry about there. But if you still want to contribute to the program, for everyone who's using the super chat over here, please remember that YouTube keeps 1/3 of every dollar that you send. So if you send $100, they kept 30 of it. So just remember, keep hold of our PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat links. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo links. There's going to definitely be something there that's convenient for you. And as always, we appreciate your support. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, The Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.